China once again seems to be openly meddling in the ongoing political crisis in Nepal. The Chinese envoy to Nepal has held meetings with Nepal Communist Party's top brass on multiple occasions, even as Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is facing a revolt from within his own party. Her latest meeting was with senior NCP leader and former Prime Minister of Nepal, Jhalnath Khanal. The envoy held a 45-minute meeting with the former Prime Minister at his residence earlier today. Now, these meetings go well beyond the duties and responsibilities of a foreign envoy, and this interference has been noted by the media and civil society in Nepal. Some news outlets called it China's bid to keep the NCP united. Others criticized it, calling it foreign interference in Nepal's domestic affairs. Former Deputy Prime Minister of Nepal, Kamal Thapa, called out Prime Minister Oli's hypocrisy on Twitter. He said that while Oli accused India of hatching conspiracies, it was the Chinese ambassador who was actually going around meeting senior party leaders of the government. Now, in the past 1 week, the Chinese envoy has met with Nepal's president, senior NCP leader Madhav Kumar Nepal, and former Prime Minister Khanal. Reports indicate that during her meeting with the president, there was no foreign ministry representative present as per protocol. Now, no foreign ministry representative was present in that meeting, as is the required protocol. The Chinese embassy, however, is reportedly trying to preserve the unity of the Nepali Communist Party. But this constitutes a clear violation of Nepal's sovereignty by China. Now, former Deputy Prime Minister Shrestha Prakash also rejected this meddling by China. He said that Nepal, as a sovereign country, can resolve its problems by itself, and rejected the idea that Nepal's politics was still dictated by foreign countries. Joining us on this broadcast is now the editor of Desh Sanchar Online, Yuvraj Ghimire, is joining us live from Kathmandu. Now, this is unique development in Nepal, isn't it, Yuvraj? Chinese envoy going ahead and meeting the rival leaders of KP Sharma Oli within the ruling Nepali Communist Party. She also met the president of Nepal earlier. Is this being seen within Nepal as some sort of influence being directed by Beijing on the ruling Nepali Communist Party?
Well, like Beijing growing influence and presence in Nepal, and they are not very shy about it. They are clearly demonstrating it. But unfortunately, in the context of this whole meeting, Nepal has been a country where the envoys very regularly flout the established norms and protocol in conduct of their business. And for that, not only those envoys concerned, but Nepalese authorities are equally responsible, because they do meet these envoys without letting the foreign ministry in picture, and nothing remains in institutional memory. No press communique notes are issued like it used to happen. But this is not an exception. This has been a regular feature, especially after 2005, when Nepal's politics saw involvement of the international community in a big way.
Right, but at the same time, several publications in Nepal and several media outlets in Nepal, several prominent members of the civil society are calling this a clear indication of Beijing's attempt to keep the Nepali Communist Party intact amid a massive revolt that KP Sharma Oli is facing within his own party. There were reports that Oli has in fact told the cabinet that his party is heading towards a split.
Yes, we've seen that Beijing's concerned at the moment, especially after April, May, when, Oli started facing what the undercurrent of protest became very visible, and Oli's chair has been, shaken. A Chinese ambassador has clearly been visible. From the conjecture, we can make it that, she is definitely trying to save the unity of the Communist Party as well as the chair of KP Sharma Oli. But again, this aberration would not have been possible without, Nepal's higher authorities being party to securing international support for their internal partisan gain.
Right. Nepal is also walking a tightrope, isn't it? The relationship between Nepal and India, the diplomatic relations at least, are at its lowest point. Meanwhile, there are reports that China has also gone ahead and occupied some Nepali territory as well. So how is Nepal dealing with this evolving relationship with India and China?
Well, as far as the territory issue is concerned, there was a clarification from the government of Nepal that no such territories have been occupied by Chinese. There was a settlement in 1961 in which certain territories were exchanged with the consent of the people, and they were given a choice to be citizen there, that side or this side. That was a misreporting because the media concerned apologized for that. But as far as Nepal's relation with India, following this latest dispute over certain territorial issues concerned, there are problems, and there are also both sides at least have in principle said that a settlement through diplomatic channel would be the best way, although no dates have been fixed about it. But again, coming to internal politics and interference, India did play a role in dictating Nepal's internal politics since 2005, bringing European and American as an allies in Nepal and provoking China to, again, increase its presence and interest in Nepal. It's been a very, very dirty and very kind of dangerous game in Nepal, literally making it a playground of international forces.
Right, but in the long run, what is the feeling among the Nepali public, the Nepali voters? Can they afford a long-drawn diplomatic standoff with India? Because India and Nepal have had traditional, centuries-long, not only political but cultural ties as well.
That's true. That's very true. Nepalese people and Indian people are very close to each other. The culture, geography, history, civilization, everything bounds them. But there have been certain, downslides in those relations, sometimes blockades, sometimes other things. Border issues, I don't think it's a big issue because, after all, in two countries sharing their border, these disputes would be there. But, challenge lies in their sorting out based on evidences and a settlement, understanding. But where the problem arises when you don't recognize the boundary of interfering or non-interfering in internal politics. Like China is doing the same. And Nepal's civil society, media, so-called intellectuals are also divided on this because they are so much affiliated that if India does the same thing, they criticize. Or if China does the same thing, they criticize.
Right.
Other side, they don't criticize. So there has to be certain principled issues to govern their response so that such kind of problems can be sorted out.
Yeah, right, Mr. Yubraj. Thank you so much for joining us, getting us all the updates on the latest political developments in Nepal. The Chinese envoy has certainly met a few leaders of the ruling Nepali Communist Party, and which will meet in under 24 hours to decide the future of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli.